It has been months since he was taken down by Robert Jedidiah Freeman during a street fight. There was an old man who lived in a cave in a fiery place. His name was Colonel Stinkmeaner, and he was thinking of what he could do to get back at him. "That old sucker is the reason why I came here," Stinkmeaner said. "He or his family must go get what's coming to them." He was pacing back and forth for a while he was thinking of a plan. Then he turned to look in the mirror and began to see what Freemans were doing. Robert's grandsons entered the house, carrying their backpacks. "Oh, Freeman's grandsons are home," Stinkmeaner said. "I've got to see what's going on." The Freeman brothers, Huey and Riley, made it to home for their summer break. "Finally," Riley said joyfully. "I thought school was never going to end." He tossed his backpack on the couch and sat down. Huey joined in, placing his backpack gently on the floor and sitting down next to Riley. "I agree with you," he said. "As much as I enjoy learning about some history, I'm happy that we're off." He then sighed a bit and began to daydream about his close friend Jasmine Du Bois. "Maybe this summer I could be my chance to win the heart of my friend, Jasmine Du Bois," he said. Huey and Jasmine have been friends for a while now, but it seems that she had feelings for him. Surprisingly enough, Huey had the same feelings for Jasmine too. The problem was that he was too shy to tell her, most likely because he didn't want to make it like a fool of himself. Just then, Huey stopped daydreaming when his brother got his attention. "What?" Riley asked. "What was it that I heard coming from your mouth, Huey?" Huey blushed madly, but then he shook it off, tried to put a neutral face. Nothing," he lied. "I said nothing." "You said something about Jasmine?" Riley asked. Yeah," Huey said. "But nothing too major. Come on, Huey. You don't have to lie," Riley said, nudging his older brother in the process. "You have a crush on Jasmine." "No, I don't," Huey insisted. "I like Jasmine, but I like her as a friend only." "Oh, sure you do," Riley teased. Their grandfather Robert entered the living room to greet their grandsons. "Hey there, boys," he said. "Hey, Granddad." Both of the boys greeted their grandfather. "How does it feel to be out of school for the summer?" Robert asked. "It's such a wonderful feeling, Granddad," Huey said. "I was getting bored of school already," Riley said. "It felt like it's been an eternity." "Well, if you thought you had it bad," the granddad chuckled, "then maybe you'll feel lucky after hearing about my life in school." He sat down in the middle of the both. Huey and Riley began to tell him his experience with school. "When I was about your age, I got a summer vacation," Robert said. "Unlike you lucky ducks, I only got a month off from school." Huey was interested and engaged his grandfather. "What did you and your friends do during that time?" he asked. "Well, we all picked apples from the apple trees, threw rocks on the street, played a game of capture the flag in a nearby forest near the cornfield," Robert answered. "But there was one summer I'll never forget." "What's that?" Riley asked. Robert looked at Riley with a twinkle in his eye and he answered. "It was the day I shared my true love's kiss with your grandmother." "Granny?" Huey asked. "You and Granny kissed when you were younger?" "Yeah, boy," their granddad said with a chuckle. "I first met your granny when I was just about your age, Huey." She was about Riley's age. He let out a happy sigh before continuing. "In the summer of 1934, when I met her, we began seeing each other more and more on the weekends. We shared a kiss on the last day of summer vacation." "Isn't that when you guys got cooties?" Riley joked. "I wasn't afraid of no cooties," Granddad replied. "In fact, our love was so strong that by the 1950s, your granny and I got married. That summer of 1934 brought the two of us together." Wow, Huey and Riley said in an illusion. They were surprised after hearing their grandfather's love story. Anyway, what are your plans for the summer? Robert asked. Huey told me that he is planning to win the heart of Jasmine Du Bois, Riley said before he burst into laughter. Huey then facepalmed himself out of embarrassment. Jasmine? Robert said. You mean that little baby? Isn't she the same one you hang out with the most? Yeah, Huey admitted, but it's nothing too serious. Huey's got a crush on Jasmine. Huey's got a crush on Jasmine, Riley said in a sing-song tone. Huey was about to tell off his older brother, but the grandfather quieted them. Knock it off, Riley. He turned to his older grandson. Now, Huey, do you like Jasmine? He asked. Huey nodded his head yes. And she seems happy to have you in her company, right? Robert asked again. Well, yeah, Huey answered. When that means, how is your chance to cherish your true love's kiss with Jasmine? Robert said, encouraging his grandson. At first, Huey was a little nervous, but Riley joins in by saying, Come on, Huey, you gotta prove that you're no wimp. A warrior has gotta have a courage, yet a loving heart to get the girl. With that being said, Huey grinned and said, All right, I'm gonna give it my all. That's what I'm talking about, Riley said, giving his big brother a bro hug. That's the spirit, boy, Robert said, patting Huey's shoulder. But there's only one problem, Huey said. What can I do with Jasmine? Why don't you take her to the ghetto? Riley suggested. How will beginning a ghetto work? Huey wondered. Well, a ghetto is the best place to get the girl, Riley replied. Head over to the alley and where Jasmine will struck her stuff. Little baby's not gonna get the ghetto stuff, Riley, Robert said. She's just a little girl. Oh, my bad, Riley said. Maybe you could take her to the tree near Woodcrest Forest, his grandfather stated. Yeah, that'll be a great idea, Huey agreed. Aw, man, Riley groaned. I would probably just pick up my baby at the ghetto if she were interested in me. Riley, Huey and Granddad said in illusion. Hey, I was only kidding, Riley defended. Anyway, I got an idea, Robert said. Huddle up, boys. His grandsons huddled up so they can listen to his idea. Stinkmeaner heard and saw everything through the mirror. So Huey is going on a date with this friend of his, eh? He said. Not if I can help it. He went up to his personal lab where he got himself a cauldron to mix his potions. First, Stinkmeaner was poured water into the cauldron and the start of the creation. Next, he took out a bottle of purple liquid containing lavender. It was none other than the sleeping potion. He opened up the bottle and poured the sleeping potion in the water before mixing the two together. Once the brew begins bubbling, Stinkmeaner dipped the apple, allowing the sleeping content to seep through it. Then he took it out and waited until it was blood red. Ah, perfect, Stinkmeaner said in a sly tone of voice. I knew that a poison apple would do the trick. Now all I need is a disguise. He then looked around the lab and saw nothing but a black cloak. This black cloak only works for people who want to dress up as peddlers. He said, Oh well, this will do. Stinkmeaner shrouded himself in the cloak and placed the apple inside the basket with the other apples. Huey Freeman, tomorrow will be your first and last day to live, he announced. And your little girlfriend will be too scared that she will never save you. He laughed evilly before he coughed up a bit. Don't worry, I'm fine. I just needed to cough up my lungs, he said, before going out about his own business.